Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and knights around the realm. It's just me, Oos, and I'm here today for nighttime to discuss what was AEW's Blood and Guts. And boy, did it live up to the billing. So without further ado, let's jump right in to that AEW Dynamite. All right, we got to talk about this. My overall impression for Blood and Guts. It's hard to really figure out where I land on this because, on the one hand, I feel like this was pay per view quality television. As far as what we saw when it came to Blood and Guts on AEW, and it was just on a regularly scheduled Wednesday night Dynamite programming. And there was a few times during Blood and Guts where I had to sit back and I asked myself, you know, if I was a casual viewer and I'm flipping through the channels and I'm bored on a Wednesday night and I turn to TBS and I see the chaos with a double ring, cages, two cages, covering the rings, or one giant cage covering the two rings. And you either have a bunch of women in the ring fighting or a bunch of men in the ring fighting, depending on when you flip through it. Would I stay on this channel based on what I was seeing with the blood and little guts all throughout the ring? And I have to say, I think my answer would be yes. But for some people, I can also see how looking at something like Blood and Guts and hearing some of the feedback of like, oh, they may have gone too far. Do we really need this on regularly scheduled programming? This should have been on a pay-per-view or a PLE. I don't want my son or daughter flipping through and seeing things like this. And I can understand that argument as well. I mean, although we could just say get the remote, flip the channel, or either pay attention to your kids, watch your kids, and don't let them be in a room watching television by themselves. I don't know. But to get to what we saw, and the reason why I'm discussing all of that is because it was nothing but chaos the entire night. We started the night of AEW Dynamite's Blood and Guts off with this match right here. One cage, two rings, three words. And Blood and Guts is what we got. And these ladies right here tore the house down for the first ever Blood and Guts match with women. Now, there were some misses in this, okay? There were some misses in this, but overall, I thought these women did a phenomenal job. I have to give it to Sky Blue, who started off the night and started off the match and took a beating. I mean, she was bleeding from fighting Willow before the other entrants even got into the ring. And it was just insane. The length and how far and how long this match went on. And these women were giving it their all. I'm talking broken bottles. I'm talking blows to the head with title belts. I'm talking cuts with coming from baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire. I mean, these ladies had it all. Did it? I'm talking a spike table that oh my gosh, that Marina Shafir, when she got in the ring, she took Chris Statlander out of the ring to expose the little spike pallet, and then slammed her back first on it. I mean, these ladies were literally giving it their all. They were bleeding. I mean, they were beat down. They were put through tables. Mercedes Moné, phenomenal showing in this, showing why she is as good as she is, showing why she has so many titles. She was a real treat and delight to watch. But Marina Shafir, man, this lady here, she's just mean, man. I mean, she got it when she came out, the beatdown that she was delivering to people, the hip tosses, the arm bars, the slams. I mean, it was just rinse and repeat. And then she took her shoes off and decided she's just going to walk through the ring, all the broken glass, all of the thumbtacks, all of that stuff that's just in the ring, and just continue to just deliver a beating. I mean, these ladies right here deserve every bit of the credit that comes their way because they really did tear the house down. Megan Bain, another phenomenal performance from the goddess herself. Just absolutely loved it. I just thought these ladies overall did a great job for the first ever, again, women's blood and guts match. And they really delivered. They went the distance, they took it there, and it was something that was epic. But what I love the most about this, of course, I've got to talk about my girl, Toni Storm, her being in the ring, the performance that she gave, and how it ended. Um, you know, the ending of it was bittersweet in the sense of you didn't want it to end the way that it did, but you understood, listen, you can't have Toni, who was being held down by what are my girls here? She was being held down by triangle by the triangle of madness. While Mercedes Moné wasn't even involved in the match at this point. She got slammed through a table outside of the ring, but Marina Shafir had Shirakawa in a hold while Megan Bain was taking the title and literally just beating her across the back. And the Triangle of Madness is just holding her. And just, Toni Storm is just crying and crawling, trying to get to Shirakawa, but they won't let her get there. They're all holding her down. Meanwhile, Marina Shafir has Shirakawa in the mother's milk hold, and Megan Bain is just beating her over and over and over and over again with the title belt. And they're forcing Toni Storm to watch this brutal beatdown to the point that she had to quit in order to end the match. And so it was kind of heartbreaking. And she crawls over to Shirakawa and try to console her while Marina Shafir starts stomping another mud hole in her. It was phenomenal. These ladies did well. It set up things for the future. Like Tekla, oh my gosh, she was great in this as well. But it set up things for the future. We know for sure. I'm almost certain there's going to be something between Toni Storm and Marina Shafir. At this point, there has to be because these two ladies, they had their little heat in the ring, their little back and forth in the ring with Toni Storm punching her with the tape, wrapped it with glass all around the tape that she had on her hand and punching Marina Shafir in the face with it. I mean, it was these ladies, they killed it. They did a phenomenal job. And the way it ended was just, it was like storybook because we know Toni Storm is always talking about looking for this beautiful death, this beautiful match, this beautiful end, whatever you want to call it. And this was something, and already Toni Storm, she came out disheveled. It's like ever since she's lost the title, she's lost her way. She's lost herself. And so she comes out disheveled, and then she goes through this as well. That extra stress just on Toni Storm. So now you're wondering, how is this going to impact her character going forward? And then you're coming up against an indomitable force like Marina Shafir, who this lady is just brutal. She's just absolutely brutal. And I loved what these ladies did. I love how they built on other stories. I love the fact that, they took it there with the blood, with the guts. So shout out to all the ladies involved here. They just deserve it. Chris Statlander, Toni Storm, Willow Nightingale, Marina Shafir, Jamie Hayter, Harley Cameron, Mercedes Moné, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir. They just absolutely killed it and deserve their flowers. And then we move on to the next match that came up, which was Adam Hangman Page and Powerhouse Hobbs. This was everything that you were going to expect to get from two powerhouses like this. Between Adam Hangman Page and a Powerhouse Hobbs, it was just a brutal physical match that led from in the ring out into the stands to the one of the craziest spots that I enjoyed. There was two main spots. Is Adam Hangman Page is well, let me not say it this way. Let me how I say it. I'm gonna say between Powerhouse Hobbs' legs, but pause. But he has him like he's getting ready to deliver a power bomb. But Adam Hangman Page reverses it, lifts Hobbs over, and flips him off the table onto the floor. That was an insane bump there for Powerhouse Hobbs to take. And just the fact that he was able to get up from that, yikes. but they end up going into the crowd. They're fighting their way all the way up into the crowd. Adam Hangman Page has Powerhouse Hobbs on the rails, and he's punching him and just punching him, punching him, and then finally decides, I'm gonna walk further up the stands, take my boot off, run down the stands, and hit Powerhouse Hobbs in the head with this boot, knocking him over the rail. And Powerhouse Hobbs falls off the railing onto a table that's has electrical wiring under it. Falls onto that, sparks fly everywhere, lights go out in the stadium. That was just another insane spot there. But when you're talking about having to wrestle and deal with a person like Powerhouse Hobbs, it's going to take every bit of that. You're going to need to do every bit of that for it to feel like a person like Powerhouse Hobbs, shouldn't get back up, shouldn't win, should lose. And so I like how they did that there because they were able to protect Powerhouse Hobbs and his dominance and what he is capable of and was capable of doing in the ring. So I really do appreciate kind of how they wrote that into the finish for Powerhouse Hobbs. But of course, we know that the feud between Adam Hangman Page and Joe is going to continue because none other than Joe showed up. He started beating on Adam Hangman Page as the cage is lowering down. He's beating on Adam Hangman Page in the middle of the ring, and of course, help comes out. What was my boy name? Yeah, gosh, I'm losing it right now. Mark Briscoe comes out to help Adam Hangman Page, and of course, Adam Hangman Page gets the mic. He tells Samoa Joe, if all you wanted was a match, you got it in a steel cage at Full Gear. So now we have another match between Samoa Joe and Adam Hangman Page, which we know is going to be another banger because it is Samoa Joe, it is Adam Hangman Page, and we know that these two together already can deliver. So that's exciting how that led to another match built on something else. It's always good to see how AEW keeps just building things within their shows and within their pay-per-views. They just keep it interesting. And it's just something that I really have to give AEW their flowers for. But just another great match and with more great spots. And then the end of the night, to end it all off with blood and guts, we had the third and final match, which was, the men's match. And you knew it was going to be a banger. I mean, just look at the people involved. You knew it was going to go the distance. And of course, it was going to be mayhem and crazy. And can I just say, I just want to say, for whatever it is for the year of 2025, the weapon of choice, the most dangerous weapon that you can bring to a blood and guts match or any I Quit match appears to be a simple table fork. That I have seen a table fork do so much damage this year, things that I never thought you would use a table fork for. And each and every time, 3 different times this year, we've seen this table fork and it's been used to do damage. And it's usually always brought about and introduced into the match by none other than Jon Moxley. And this guy, I don't know what it is, what his fascination is with a table fork, but he comes in, he starts just delivering blows with the table fork. Kyle O'Reilly to Roderick Strong, Darby Allin, the forks to the back, up and down the back. They threw Darby Allin into the cage, and he smacked the cage and fell down in between in such a diabolical way. I didn't think he was ever going to get up again. These guys, they were going at it, and Orange Cassidy having his hands stapled into his pockets, insane, just downright insane. And then Pac, and of course, with blood and guts, everything has been about spots. There were so many different spots within blood and guts. It's just hard to keep count of all the chaos that was taking place. But the spot of the night, of course, is gonna have Darby Allin involved, but he's on top of some type of like rafters, stands, whatever, tall boxes out at the entrance of the ring with Pac. Pac has a belt tied around his neck. He's choking Darby Allin. Darby Allin climbs the whatever boxes, the little rafter area to be up there with Pac, gets into an altercation with him, while another guy's down putting lighter fluid all over two tables that are stacked right up under them, and then sets the tables on fire. And you know what's going to happen next. You know what happens next. Pac decides to pick Darby Allin up and toss him down onto the tables while they're on fire and through them. And Darby Allin, he does this. He takes these bumps over and over and over again. I don't understand how this man is able to continue to get into a wrestling ring with the year he has had this, thus far, and all of these crazy bumps and matches that he's been in. Another one that I have to give flowers to is Darby Allin. He puts it all on the line. Him and Jon Moxley they are a match made in heaven when it comes to these types of matches in AEW or in wrestling, period, where it's an I Quit or any type of anything goes match. These two, they just absolutely love putting their bodies through just brutal pain. And that was one of them. And Darby Allin was even on fire for a little bit, rolling around on the ground trying to put the fire out. So I know he was being burned. And, all of this is happening on just a regularly scheduled AEW TBS Dynamite, although it is blood and guts, and you did not have to pay a single penny, dime, anything for it. You just turn the TV on and watch it. It's insane. And then for the way the match ended, which is something that is becoming very common as of late, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it's building towards. But the match ends with none other than Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley going at it in the ring. Kyle O'Reilly has him in an ankle lock. Jon Moxley reverses the ankle lock, puts him in a chokehold. Kyle O'Reilly reverses that, tries to put him in an arm bar. He can't get the arm bar locked in, so he goes ahead and abandons ship, flips over into the ankle lock again, gets Jon Moxley, twists him back into an ankle lock, wraps his legs around the leg that's in the ankle lock, collapses down on it, and that hold is there to stay. Jon Moxley is sliding around in the ring on top of broken glass, thumbtacks, whatever else they could put in that ring to cause damage, and is just screaming in pain, and he taps out. Yes, Jon Moxley. This is the third time in a row this year Jon Moxley has quit a match. Adam Hangman Page caused him to be able to quit a match. That's how Adam Hangman Page was able to free the title from Jon Moxley. Then he has a match with Darby Allin. Darby Allin gets Jon Moxley to say, I quit. And now Kyle O'Reilly, he's able to get Jon Moxley to tap out. What is going on with Jon Moxley? Can anybody explain what is happening to the leader of the Death Riders? We're watching this man quit and tap out left and right, especially after a dominant performance that we just saw earlier from Marina Shafir. Her team, by the way, picks up the win, which is good for the baddies. I like to see the fact that the baddies actually won in that situation. But here, the good guys win. But Jon Moxley, it's at the expense of Jon Moxley. So, folks, I don't know what this will build to. I don't know how many more times we can look to Jon Moxley as the leader of the Death Riders when every time they turn around, he's been losing. He's lost the AEW championship. He's lost to Darby Allin. Now he's lost to Kyle O'Reilly. And they've all been tap outs. Just insane. I'm loving this because I wonder what this is going to do for a Jon Moxley, his character, and how does he come back from this? And especially with you have another person that within the Death Riders and Pac that is just looking so dominant. He's just such a beast in and of himself. And so something has to be done about this. Something has to come from this, and I can't wait to see what it is and what will happen. But when we talk about blood and guts and AEW Dynamite, it was an absolute banger. It was 3 matches, but they all meant something, and they just all delivered. And it's just AEW has just been doing a good job. I know we've talked about this all year long, and at some point we're going to be doing what I want to call a state of wrestling, because I want to talk about AEW this year, their product and how they've been doing things. I want to talk about WWE, their product and how they're doing things. Just wrestling in general. Wrestlers that have been pushed this year, wrestlers that haven't been pushed, wrestlers that should be pushed, maybe how fans are consuming the product of wrestling these days, some of the moves, business moves that have been made in wrestling. because here on exclusive nights podcast on the exclusive nights channel, we talk all things wrestling. So I think this is a great conversation to have and really get the feedback of people that have been supporting us, for the last 2 years now, and just kind of see what they think about wrestling and where it is today. I mean, we're getting like great stuff like blood and guts on regular television. Like what other things can AEW do? Like if AEW wanted to bring you into the fold as a just casual wrestler, if you're just a casual fan or you're a fan that just simply loves WWE's product, you know, what is AEW missing? What is the missing piece in AEW for you as a casual fan? That you feel like, hey, I can't really get into what they're doing. I can't really get into their product because I want to know, why AEW seems to be this real bad there seems to be this real bad disconnect with wrestling fans and AEW. Because to me, when I watch an AEW product, like I can understand and respect it in my mind for what it is and for the type of wrestling that you're going to get and you're going to receive. And I enjoy it just like I enjoy WWE and the type of wrestling and what they're going to put on their production of matches and how that's going to be. I think it's all great, it's all relevant, it's all wrestling, and I enjoy wrestling. So of course, I'm going to find things about it that I like, dislike, whatever. But we always talk all the time about this whole tribalism or whatever back and forth about AEW and watching Blood and Guts. Like I said, the question came in my head about like just casually flipping and watching. I'm looking at this thing and this is cool, but somebody else may be like, look, this is going too far. They're doing too much to get attention and this, that, and the other. But I still think it was just a great show and great wrestling. So I'm curious. I'm just curious, and I think it's going to be a good show for us to have a state of wrestling and just kind of get feedback and hear from other people, that are fans of ours that watch our stuff, joining in and just giving us their thoughts about AEW, about WWE, just about wrestling in general. It could be TNA, whatever, Ashe Wrestling, whatever. Because this stuff is out there, and we're getting so much wrestling these days that you can watch it literally every day, which is cool, for some that can be overwhelming, I can understand, but it's just cool sometimes to know like, oh, you know what, I got this show tonight, I'm gonna check it out, and when it delivers like a blood and guts, I'm all here for it. But with that said, listen, I want to let everybody know how much we have been appreciating the love that we've been getting, the support we've been getting. Our YouTube, we've gone over 200 subscribers now, which is outstanding. We really do appreciate the love and support that we're getting there. But of course, we are on other platforms as well. So you can find us on Facebook at the Exclusive Nights Podcast. You can find us on X at the XK Podcast. We're on Instagram. Of course, if you're checking us on YouTube, you already know we're at the Exclusive Nights Podcast. But we're also on TikTok, and TikTok is so close. I believe we're like 15 subscribers. I think we're at I want to say 490 the last I checked, somewhere around there. We're almost at the 500 mark on TikTok. So please, if you have a TikTok account, feel free to join us there and give us that like, subscribe, whatever. We really do appreciate the love and support that we've been getting from wrestling fans and people just supporting us on the show. We appreciate it. I see a comment and popped in from Nicole. It said it's hard to compare WWE to WWF because he said they're them. I guess that's what she meant to say. They are the originators, loyalty with WWF superstars. Yeah, and I can respect that. I understand that. I know that there are going to be people that have grown up just watching WWE, and to see anything else try to even compete with it, because we've been so used to like WWE just owning wrestling. And when I mean owning wrestling, I mean owning wrestling. Like there's no other product that even comes close. And if you do come close, at that point in time, Vince McMahon would just buy you out, and then he'll have your wrestlers on his show to just add salt to the wound. But in today's world where we have an AEW, we have that alternative. TNA is coming on, but they have a partnership with WWE. Yeah, you have Ring of Honor. You have Ashe Wrestling, you have a New Japan. There's many ways that people in many different wrestling styles. That's another thing. All these promotions have different ways of producing their matches and producing their shows and things of that nature. So, but I can respect and understand. Listen, I'm not trying to argue that there is a 100% right way to do wrestling and right way to produce a show, right 100% better promoter or promotion, whether it be WWE, AEW, TNA, whatever. Um, but there is, it's to me, I'm more curious about the mindset of people and why uh, they don't want or they don't like to see any other competitor to WWE. Or maybe I should say it like you don't like to hear any other wrestling promotions even mentioned in the realm of a WWE. And I understand that WWE is just on a different level. I mean, they're already a viral, huge, large, big production. But I still think an AEW is up there as well. And the wrestling talent that they have and the shows they put on, they have been doing some really good work. She says, yes, they have owned it for years, and it looking at smaller companies, it's hard to switch and look at it. And that's fair. All things fair, all things considered. Um, but I do think that if you give it the opportunity, you give it the chance, you sit down, keep an open mind about it, it can change your mind because you can start to see where other promotions do things just a little bit better than WWE. Not everything, but just a few things better than WWE. I do feel like AEW gives you really good match quality throughout versus WWE. Um, I think I think some of their matches um lack a feel of like being really connected with that match because a lot of times it we've talked about this before. It seems like random wrestlers just thrown together to have a match. And you're like, well, what's the story? What's the beef here? What's going on? And so when you see that time and time again, it kind of it keep takes you out of it. It takes you out of like, why am I involved? Why am I invested in this? Like, what is the goal? What is this wrestler trying to achieve by facing this wrestler here? And sometimes I think WWE can get away with it because of just the names of their wrestlers, compared to something like an AEW where they really have to have a story because they're not hitting on things like a WWE would be hitting on things, but so they have to have a good story. They have to have this whole background, this whole setup that leads into a match, because it kind of makes people invested and make them want to pay ticket prices to go in and see their product versus a WWE where at this point it's really becoming like a gentleman's club where the rich of the rich are able to get tickets and get into these things. They're charging astronomical ticket prices. And to me, the matches and product is not really living up to the billing of what it costs to go and see the product. And so sometimes I feel like us as wrestling fans are kind of being left behind. Just to get on my soapbox here a little bit, when it comes to the WWE product and the way they do things and the way they've spread all of their programming across so many different platforms, you have to subscribe to multiple things just to watch a WWE product where it's like, I miss where it was just on the WWE network. And then I can go there, I can pay my $9.99 a month. I can see all of the PLEs or pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them. And then, oh, by the way, I can go into the archives and watch all these matches and things. It was in one place. But now I got to have a subscription to Netflix, and now I got to have a subscription to ESPN. Also, I got to be on UPN or whatever to watch NXT. And it's so all over the place. And Peacock, I can't forget about Peacock. You got to be on Peacock. And so it's like, man, just to watch their product, you're Netflix. You're just across so many different things. You're stretched so thin. WWE storylines are starting to get weak, and so you might try AEW. They are, and I agree with this in the sense that I think the height of WWE was right where at least in the last 3 years, is right where Vince McMahon was stepping down, Triple H was taking over, and it led into that, I believe it was WrestleMania 39. And it may have been 40, but where The Rock was involved and he became the final boss, and the storytelling and the match build, all of that stuff was just phenomenal. And I even remember The Rock coming out in one of his promos and said, yes, we have made wrestling cool again. And that really meant something because, you know, before then, could you really were you really considering wrestling cool? I think that really started to bring a bunch of eyes back to the product when you had The Rock and the final boss, like this whole persona going against Cody and the fight for Cody, like trying to win this championship from the story from his family and his dad never been able to really hold gold in the WWE. And you got the tribal chief himself, holding up the ones, just like dominating wrestling the way he had. I mean, I think that was like peak cinema storytelling and everything when it came to the WWE. And then it just seems like it hit a wall and we just started going downhill and and it just hasn't been the same. And I think WWE recognizes that and realizes it. Um, and so, like, I do believe that they're probably going to strike gold eventually this year, like coming up, because they are seeming to build towards something big when you're talking about having a Cody Rhodes, a Roman Reigns, a Brock Lesnar, all as CM Punk, all involved in something major. I don't know what it is, but the fact they keep doing these promos and they're all sitting at the table, it means something. And I think WWE will strike gold with something here. My only issue with this and or with that is the fact that you're kind of relying on the same old dog. It's just the same old song with just a different meaning since you've been gone. All right, let me stop. I'm tripping. I'm going wild. But that's how I feel about WWE. It's like, all right, we're relying on the same draws over and over. Okay, we got to get Roman in here. We got to get Brock. We got to get CM Punk. We got to like have Cody. And it's like, this is where you wish they have used. They have so much talent. They don't have to do this. If they would just put effort into making good stories. What made The Rock and stuff good stories was the backstage segments that The Rock would have where he's just beating Cody to a pulp and he's making it personal. Mama Rhodes, stuff like that. And he's taking Cody's blood and he's wiping it across the belt. And he's like, I'm going to give this to Mama Rhodes. And, he's beating on her son. And it's just, it's a personal feel that you were getting, and that's what was getting you attached to what you were seeing. She said, "You are spitting facts. People are loyal to the WWE, so they going to support it regardless," which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying you're wrong for only wanting to support WWE. Everybody has their niche, and some people, if they're going to be a casual fan, they only want to go to a product that they're comfortable with, they're familiar with, they grew up on, and that's fine. Sometimes you just want to open people's eyes to other things. She's drink some water. I do need to drink some water. I 33 minutes in, I throat getting a little dry. But my man, Dio, what's up? I can't wait to have you back because I really want to get your opinions. I know you're gonna have some just fire opinions when it comes to like the state of wrestling in general. Because generally when you're involved in these conversations, just a lot of magic happens there. A lot of exclusives happen there from Mr. Exclusive himself. But it says Joe Hendry has officially signed with WWE. That is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, because I didn't know until officially announced by Mr. Exclusive himself, living up to the name. But it's also one of those things, it's to be expected, right? Like, I'm sure Joe Hendry is in one of these matches to face John Cena. He's going to be one of the contestants. We've known that Joe Hendry and his involvement in WWE was just going to be a matter of time before he crossed over from TNA into WWE. And it's just another talent WWE has acquired. I love Joe Hendry. Have nothing against Joe Hendry. I wish he would right now be able to just pop up on camera on us. It would be super dope. But it's always the same question. How are they going to use Joe Hendry? How are they going to build Joe Hendry? Are they going to make Joe Hendry a star and let him be the star that he is? Or is he just going to become a jag, just a guy? And that's the thing with WWE. You could become a jag so quick. It's unreal. It's criminal. It's in the way it happens. So many guys that have talent, you're like, they are going to be it. They're going to be the guy, become jags in like just a matter of seconds. But I am happy for Joe Hendry. I know this is a dream of his. It's something he's wanted to do. And like I said, they've been giving him opportunities. He got to face Randy Orton last year at WrestleMania, or earlier this year at WrestleMania. So shout out to Joe Hendry. We love Joe Hendry and his work. I hope WWE really uses him well. But again, they have so much talent, and that's why it's so sad that they have to go back to like the same 4 or 5 people every single year for WrestleMania. Show enough. Who's the master? I say, or you say, show enough. But Durrell said, hit them notes, HB Prince. I'm about to hit the end button because HB Prince is gonna start coughing here in a second. He said, missing you guys, brother. Returning soon. We can't wait to have you. Can't wait to have E on here because I know for that segment when we talk about the state of wrestling, he's gonna go off because he's been going off. If you don't check him out on TikTok, he's been going off on those panels for a while because of the tribalism of WWE and AEW. So they don't even mention tribalism. If you say the word tribalism around Eric Knight, it's a wrap. He's gonna go on a rant. And he's gonna give you the business about the whole thing because of how passionate he is for wrestling, the sport of wrestling, and just the fact that there are great products out there, and he hates to see the WWE fandom try to tear down and just do away with a wrestling program, because it's dangerous, man. It really is, and I have to agree with him. It's dangerous when that if that were to happen, and when that happens, because if you think about the years where we did not have an alternative to WWE, that was your wrestling fix each week. They could do anything at that point. There's no competition. They can give you anything, serve you anything, sell you anything, just put anything on a television screen, and you have no other choice but to watch it or not watch it, whatever. But I mean is if you're a wrestling fan and you want to watch it, you just have to absorb it because it's like, well, what else am I going to watch? There is no AEW. There is no TNA, Ring of Honor, whatever, and so that's why it's good to have these other promotions because of the fact that if you're not getting what you want from WWE, you can say, well, let me check out this one. Hey, I like the way they're doing things. Yeah, I like this right here. Hey, I saw that wrestler that used to be on WWE. They're now here. And oh my gosh, they're doing way better than what they were in WWE. How do you think we got Cody Rhodes, people? The man was what was it? Now I lost my train of thought. Was it Knight's Stardust? He was Stardust. Like Cody Rhodes, the person that we chant on, he was Stardust in WWE. That's how bad they treated this man. He had to leave and come back. Like he had to reinvent himself outside of WWE. That's the thing that I think that Eric tries to hit on is that WWE is not this perfect thing. It's not this untouchable and like unblemished thing. It has so many flaws, but we will put our blinders on and act like we see none of it, hear none of it. It doesn't happen. And and there are plenty of examples of wrestlers who just had to get away from WWE, reinvent themselves, and come back. And it's okay that they came back. I know many are, but they came back. That's fine. It's okay. We also know that WWE is the biggest wrestling promotion. So it's no one. If you're going to do something in a certain profession, you probably want to do it for the best or biggest promotion that there is, because there's more eyes on the product and people see it. But it doesn't mean that other promotions, have to die or can't be a part of a wrestling world. Because if it wasn't for other promotions, I don't know how Cody would have been able to reinvent himself and go on to be as great as he did. Chris Jericho is another one that left the WWE, did big things, and could come back. But Chris Jericho's Chris Jericho, for crying out loud. But it's just so many more wrestlers. Cesaro, they kind of did anything with him, but he's doing pretty well in AEW, and eventually he'll probably make it back to WWE. Edge, he's left. He's in WWE doing his thing, and it's okay. He may come back. We hoping he comes back. What I would love to see in the wrestling world. Oh, I gotta have him on. Mr. Exclusive himself. Hey. What is up? What I would love to see in the wrestling world is for like an AEW and WWE like work together type of thing, like a tag team thing or whatever, where they say, hey, look, at Forbidden Door, we'll bring in WWE versus AEW. Who's better? I'd love to see something like that. I think that would be phenomenal, and you could draw great gate prices because we know with WWE, it's all about the gate.
And how you play it.
So they love gates. You could have a major gate, but again, like I said, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. But Mr. Exclusive, I know you popped on. Share your thoughts, sir.
Hey man, look, you're hitting on a lot of hammers here. The hammers being hit harder in so many different ways. My first official time on nighttime, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, welcome to nighttime.
His first time on nighttime. And so look,
I got applause right here. So here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's crazy because I agree. We love our guy Eric, and so the tribalism is deep. In the world of wrestling, you go on these chats and people are just angry. WWE did it first. Like, say for instance, the match they had last night, the blood and guts last night. I didn't have a chance to watch it. I saw some of the highlights. Women's perfect.
It was yes.
You gotta throw that in there. Toni Storm,
yes,
master.
Yes,
she's amazing. Everything about it was good.
Yeah.
All I heard was, oh man, it's. They're trying to act like war games and all that stuff. Look, man, everything about wrestling isn't just somebody's. Everybody has stole something from somebody and used it in their vision. Heck, WWE is being, Blake Monroe, her little interview she did the other day where she was talking to Mariah May.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another masterful piece of thing. Oh, they took that for Toni Storm. They always take stuff from each other, guys.
Yeah.
It's wrestling. Ideas, if they see something, they can tweak it a little bit. That's the way it is. But you know who wins in the end? We do. It doesn't even they care. There's so many people that care about it. If it ain't WWE, ain't nothing. If it ain't AEW, ain't nothing. If it ain't so and so, who cares? Because in the end, we win when we see all this greatness, man. So look, for me, if everything just keeps going in the direction that it's going, I like the way AEW has really kind of stepped their game up over the last year. You guys talk so beautifully about it here on Nighttime, and it's just great to see them. But they have really pushed WWE low key, and if WWE, they noticed it, they're not stupid. So that's why you see all the pay-per-views trying to match up head to head and all that stuff. But but who wins? In most of these cases are the fans. When we get these multiple pay-per-views together, I don't think we win as fans. That's something I don't like, that I think it could be better.
Yeah. And I agree. And that's I think the big thing about the whole thing when it comes to the whole tribalism thing is the fact that it's like we as fans, we're winning right now. Like we can choose to watch whatever product we want, and we have wrestling, and then we can see it in different forms.
Right.
And so it's like we are winning. And you're right. I know the WWE doesn't necessarily like to acknowledge AEW, but they have to, and they do, in the sense that you see it how they compete with them. Anytime AEW puts on a pay-per-view, you see WWE tries to counter program it, and that's competition. That's understandable. It sucks sometimes, especially when you have them like going at the same time. You got to pick and choose which one, but at the same time, it's still a cool thing because us as fans, we get to have that option. You always want options. You always want to have an option. So the fact that we get that is great. And so you're 100% right, D. Having the fans, we are the ones that are winning in the end, and it's a great thing. Nicole also says, but they were also given PLE performances on Monday Night Raw back in the day.
They were
WWF. Yeah, this is the second time or third time she brought up WWF. Yes, they were. And especially during the Attitude Era, I would definitely say there were a lot of nights, Monday Night Raws, Sunday Night Heats, Thursday Night SmackDown. Like they were given PLE. WWE was in their bag for a time when it happened. But then, as like we said, as they started to buy up these companies, WCW went out of business, and Ring of Honor really wasn't hitting on anything. TNA, I think at one point was only down in Florida. Like you could only go if you were down in Disney, you could see them, because one year we were down in Disney and they had a thing that said TNA show tonight or whatever. Yeah, and I got to see Sandman. He literally walked right out from the back, right beside us through the crowd. I got to touch him and pat him. I was like, this is dope.
This is cool.
But it wasn't a big thing, but you couldn't really see it. The only thing you could really put your eyeballs on that came on was WWE. So WWE, I'm not trying to take it away from them and say that they don't hit every now and again, because there have been some matches this year that were bangers. And like I said, I always go back to WrestleMania and what the triple threat match was between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins over Paul Heyman, and how great that was. The women's trios match was phenomenal. So they do have something that they hit on. She said they came back because of money and more publicity, and yes, that is true. That wrestlers do come back to WWE for more publicity, more money, because again, WWE is the giant product. It can do that, and again, we talk all the time about Triple H talking about record gates. That's why they can afford to pay. So yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. And I also appreciate this. Nicole, thank you for watching and commenting today. And I've enjoyed this. I didn't expect the conversation to go this route, but it just kind of happened. But that's what I'm excited for, for us to be able to talk about the state of wrestling, and like just many different aspects, and what it's like today, as a fan consuming the product, from like wrestlers that being pushed, not being pushed, stuff like that. Like our thoughts and opinions on these things, because I know you talk about it all the time about things that people miss on, or we talk about missed opportunities, right? And so yeah, I think that's huge for us.
Yeah, I mean, look, the wrestling world right now is cooking, and I think that's the best thing that you can possibly have, like for everybody. And when everybody's hitting on different cylinders, it's just what you want. You want to have that, and I think right now we've seen so much good stuff. And I think the thing about it is, WWE has kind of hit a little bit of a rut lately because of everything that's happened with them switching to ESPN, and you got to go to Netflix to watch Raw, and so they've kind of spread themselves thin. Now the AEW's done a little bit of that, but it's nothing on the scale that WWE has done. You want to watch NXT PLEs, you got to go to Peacock. So you got it's just a whole bunch of different things that they have going on right now. I think it has taken a little bit of a hit because of that. I mean, but they're still WWE, and until the greatest scandal of all time comes, and we had one of that when Vince situation happened, and they still survived off of it. So it would have to take some major whatever for it to go down. I wanted to say, like lately, I've really appreciated the energy that we've seen on certain shows. NXT, like we always talk about on the main pod, is just like it's cooking. Like Oba coming back the other night, I thought was really cool. I'm like, hey, Oba's back in the building, and but I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't think he was coming back no time soon. I thought that may be a Rumble thing. So I don't know if they're about to do the one-off thing where this is his last run at the title before they move him up. There's a lot of people that seem like a couple people that seem like they may be on the move soon, and seeing Lash finally get her spot we've been begging for it, and at least they're showcasing her early. So that was a big concern of us a couple of weeks ago when we were on the pod. Like, they're gonna showcase these people when they get up there. So having her team with Nia Jax, not what I expected, but I appreciate it, because Nia Jax is going to give her some much needed like airtime. They showcase Nia a lot on SmackDown, so being able to see that happened, I thought, okay, that's gonna be cool. You'll see Lash get up there. I'm
so happy for Lash.
Yeah, I know, right? And I think but Trick and Oba have to be on the way up.
They do.
I would be very shocked if they're both not making their way onto the main roster by the Rumble, right? Like, I mean, this Rumble seems like it's going to be the right Rumble.
It does,
for Trick and Oba and those guys to make that leap up. So I'm excited about a couple of things that are coming down the pipe, and I can't wait to see something. Especially, and shout out to Chelsea Green, because my girl is U.S. champ again, the first and the fourth. Just throwing it out there. So she deserves it.
Two-time.
Two-time. Hate this happened to Julia, but I think that was maybe a little bit of a mishap on Triple H's part. They gave the title too fast. Didn't give her a chance to really build her character. Stephanie Vaquer has come in and done so much, and they thought, well, let's shove a title on Julia and see if she can give the same. It's not the same, and it's still she may have been one they could have left on NXT for a while. That's just me, but I mean, so much greatness going on, man. I guess I'm behind, man. I haven't been on in a week or so.
It's all right. I know you ripping and running. That's why I'm like, I can't wait to January when things calm down for your
No,
schedule.
man,
And
I can't wait.
but you always come at the best time, because in January, that's when things start to heat up with WWE. And that's why I guess I'm having faith this year that something big is happening, because like you talked about with like the chance of thinking like the Rumble, you can bring Oba out, you can have Trick come out, you can have Ricky Sanks. Like I'm thinking about things that the WWE will have access to and be able to do. And then I'm also, even though I know it's the same names, but I'm excited to see what we're getting ready to build to, if they're gonna, with this, like I said earlier, with this big these vignettes that they keep doing with I'm gonna say the big four, Cody, CM Punk, Brock, and Roman Reigns. Seth, unfortunately, is hurt, so but it just feels like there's this big battle getting ready to come to find out like who really is the legit champion of champions. And so I think that they're gonna have something they can cook with here. I just hope that they get it right. I really do. I hope that they get everything right going, with the build up. And I want more. I want more heat, more backstage stuff. That's like what we saw a couple years ago. Like I keep talking about from The Rock, and the final balls coming.
Yeah.
Just how he just had such a hand in just making the show exciting. It was just it to me. It was just a flashback of what it used to be like. Again, we keep constantly talking about the the old era of wrestling, and that's what The Rock was kind of bringing it back to. And so I think that's what made it so exciting and was making it so fun. And I want WWE to do more producing like that when it comes to the storylines with their main title holders, and just to give it that weight. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Well, like you made a good point. 2 years ago, that road to WrestleMania was probably one of the best road to WrestleManias I've seen. Well, obviously in a long time, but it's probably top. It's definitely top 10. I don't want to give it, because there's so many good ones, but it was definitely a top 10, especially with where the company had been. Last year was such a disappointment. Oh, it was such a Road WrestleMania. I was like, it's all right. This is happening. Hey, it's good to be back, Nicole. It's just like, it was such a disappointment heading into it. So I'm like, okay, maybe this year they're leaning towards, they got to make it bigger than it was. They may not make it bigger than it was 2 years ago, because The Rock is The Rock, but you got to find a way to give it that same, like, I want WrestleMania 42 to be must-see TV. And they can do it if they do the storylines right. But I feel like, right now there's no real storyline to kind of like get everything, to get everything back to where it needs to be. Yeah, I know we got to get a Minds exclusive. That's exclusive Minds episode will happen. January is coming. I'm but it's just one of those things where they got to find a way to like push the envelope forward. When it comes down to that, and if they can figure that out, get a good storyline go, and they've, like I said, there's multiple ways they can go. I still think, and I'm not just saying I'm maybe a little bit of homer on this, but I still think they blew an opportunity a couple weeks ago. They should have had let Drew won the title, and then let Drew just antagonize all the way up to Mania, and then help build up whoever you wanted to be champion after that point. But hey, but at some point, you got to put the title on Drew McIntyre. Probably the best heel in the, easily top 2 heel in the company. I probably would say he's number 1 because of everything he does with social media, his delivery, the move is nasty. I mean, he has the complete package. Like what Vince said when he foretold the prophecy so long ago that he would be a future world champion. He's doing everything right now, and what Vince said he would be able to do, and killing it. And he's killing it.
He did say it. Yeah.
There's a part of me that wants to see him win the Rumble. I know that's where like I'm on away from that, but there's a couple people that I would like to see win the Rumble to help push the narrative. The LA Knights, him. There's a couple people that they can really do to really make the road to WrestleMania fun. So it's going to be huge for them. It is. It's going to be huge for them.
It is. For some weird reason, I have faith that they're going to get something right this year. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of. I feel like Triple H kind of somewhat acknowledged, like hearing some of the criticisms of the fans in his own subtle way when he was talking. If you paid attention on Monday when he did the John Cena thing, he was like, there's been a lot of talk about wrestling and about how we produce things or whatever. And he was kind of leaning to it, but then he threw the curveball and said, "But John Cena is the greatest of all time," and this, that, and the other. but he was kind of acknowledging some of the things that he's been hearing from the fans and
Good.
some of the criticisms and things of that nature.
Good.
And so maybe just maybe they'll get it right this time. But before we go, Mr. Exclusive, I gotta find out, what are your thoughts on this signing of Joe Hendry to WWE?
It's a big deal. One, it's a big deal for him. And I'm glad they didn't force him right away to the main roster, even though we see that he has main roster like big time potential. WrestleMania alone, when you get the biggest pop at the night at WrestleMania, that says a lot. And so I like the way they're bringing him along right now. And we knew the signing was coming at some point, but I like the way they're bringing him along right now. Bringing Thea Hale in the mix, and Thea's got this same kind of there's another night entering the building, ladies and gentlemen. There's another night entering the building, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Hey!
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
What in the world?
Hey, I was like, I'm sitting here in my chair listening to HB Prince kill it on the mic, and I said, "What are you doing?" I said, time for the first time and spend time with your boy. So let's get in there.
Hey, I appreciate y'all getting all for me, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, man,
no problem. Look, I steered nighttime completely off the rails, but thank God D hopped on and popped in, because this is supposed to be about blood and guts, and I had a good time talking about blood and guts, but I started talking about things that I want us to like talk about in the future. And I mentioned it to you earlier about like where wrestling is, like the state of wrestling, kind of like the State of the Union address that the president gives. And we just do like the state of wrestling and talk about like where it is, like just from all different aspects. And it just led down a rabbit hole. Nicole started sending comments in about wrestling and WWE versus AEW. And we just went all the way in. Hey, BJ, what's up?
What's up,
BJ? How you doing, brother? And then I pulled a Joe Hendry and popped on here.
And then he popped in with like, breaking news of Joe Hendry, and
man,
he popped in like Joe Hendry.
So,
oh man, this is crazy. This is news to me. This is insane.
It just happened. Like, I think it happened about an hour ago that he officially signed. I think Fightful, or he said it wrong. But they announced that he did it, and it's all over social media now. So he's officially a member of the WWE universe. So but I'm excited. I think they're doing it the right way. Like I was saying, slowly build him through NXT. Let him be NXT champion at some point. Like I like what they're doing right now with him, Thea, and the Secret Hervis, and my girl Chelsea Green and Ethan. All ego. I mean, it's that whole storyline to me is fun. It's a fun storyline with great characters. They're all funny in their own way. And it's like, I'm not gonna say this is the best thing on NXT, but it's damn near close to the best thing on NXT right now. They're doing
a
yes. Go.
Say their name and they'll appear. We believe in exclusive nights.
Oh, that's great.
I told you I've taken this show too far off the rails. It's supposed to be nighttime. It's supposed to be focused. It's been good. And we were talking just about like just a little bit about like Joe Hendry and the way like WWE and this build like going into WrestleMania, and like some opportunities that are there for them to kind of really get back to like maybe what they the feel that they had like a couple years ago when they had the whole feud between Roman Reigns and the final boss and Cody and that development, because we were talking about that compared to like AEW and their product and how they're doing things. And my argument to we were talking about was that with AEW, I feel like they're not in the position to where they can just like say, oh, today we're gonna have John Moxley face Orange Cassidy, like it, and just throw them out there and do it. But WWE can do stuff like that because they have the name. They can just live off of names, so they can just say we're going to put Randy Orton in the match with Javon Evans, and we're going to be like, because it's like it's Randy Orton, and it's like, but we don't say, well, why? Like, well, what's the story here? Like, what are we trying to accomplish? What is the goal? What are they fighting for? Why even fight? And so. We were talking about that and maybe how WWE has been suffering from kind of that disorder of just being able to throw wrestlers in there and with no stories, and that's why the product feels maybe less entertaining. If you're watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes AEW, that gives them that advantage, because they know in their minds they got to hit a home run every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of people,
anytime, BJ.
Yeah, I don't like the blood and guts and all that other stuff that's going on, but it's what make their product unique. Not everybody has to tote the line and be the WWE way. The WWE is the WWE way. Guess what? New Japan does their dream. Ring of Honor before they won that umbrella, but everybody has their own style, and so AEW style will attract to some wrestlers. That gives you that little baby hint of ECW with a little bit of maybe smidge of WWE, WCW. Because you got Tony Schiavone. It's like a whole bunch of like different things, but they're finding their own style, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like HP Prince was talking about earlier, and we know how much you hate tribalism, and so we understand that it's like you got to be able to, and if you're a real wrestling fan, you can enjoy any style of wrestling. I mean, you know what good wrestling is when you see it, and I think that's the thing. People get so locked into being territorial. Like they try to make AEW and WWE like it's like politics, like it's Democrats and Republicans. Like you don't have to choose a side. It's wrestling, baby. Like we're having fun and being entertained. If you don't like AEW, don't watch it. If you don't like WWE, don't watch it. You don't have to.
It's a choice. Free will.
You like what you like. Don't be mad at E because he likes AEW. Don't be mad at HP Prince because he likes WWE. What does it matter? Okay, you don't like the product, don't listen to us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's you have a choice, baby. It's like Democrat, Republican, all that good stuff. You don't have to listen. If you come in here and want to antagonize, by all means, but we appreciate you watching one way or the other. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. They say anything else, get my girl Marina Shafir. I ain't never seen a woman take a bare feet and just rub it in some glass anyway. I looked at that and said, "Yeah, I don't think nobody's ever touching this woman." I said, "I see what Roger Strong got, man. It's insane." HP Prince, you muted.
Yeah, he don't even know
It's so crazy.
Oh, no. Oh, he's got to unmute himself.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my bad. No, the way she walked through the crowd alone, I'm like, hey, don't mess with this lady. Don't like her walk through the crowd to enter the ring. Insane. Yeah.
I saw Ronda Rousey on here a couple weeks ago. Was I mistaken by it? Was she was on Ring of Honor or something like that? I saw Ronda Rousey.
You might be thinking of. I ain't gonna say you might be thinking of, but
I swear I thought I saw.
No. Yeah, I'm trying to think if you was seeing anybody, it could have been like Megan Bain. Megan Bain is like, I mean, Glamazon.
Megan Bain.
That woman's another level of like just
goddess
level.
Goddess.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Marina Shafir. I mean, she's killing it though. So I mean, but Marina's, that's a different aura, man. I mean, the way she comes out. I mean, like was it the other night? I mean, as soon as she came out, I said something about this woman, bro.
I don't know what it is.
She needs to be in the Hurt Syndicate.
Legit.
Just put her in the Hurt Syndicate. I know she's got a little bit less melanin, but put her in there.
We can figure it out.
We can figure it out. That lady hurts people.
Did so much damage and said, "Yeah, let me take my boots off. Now I'm ready to go."
And walk in that ring and stuff all on that glass. Man, she was different. She was on some other stuff.
Yeah, I saw the clip where they beat homegirl down, and I was just like, man, this is. It was hard for me to watch. I'm like, dang, man, they hitting her awful hard with that belt.
It was crazy.
I was just like, oh, shit.
No, when Mercedes gave the belts to, I said, see, I said. Now we see why you're definitely number one on PWI's list. Oh, the titles at Mercedes. Come on, get them out.
I like
take a title. You take a title. Yeah, we'll pass. Come on.
Nicole,
I loved it. I love that. I thought it was crazy.
I like that idea, Nicole. That's like a New Year's Eve bad boy.
Right. Man. We can do a New Year's Eve show. Yeah.
We're gonna have to get our brains together for that one.
We got to get together for that one because
Oh, but I wonder. I bet say, we could do like a exclusive nights top 25 where we just all like we got to come together and agree on 25.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But I think we could do that. I think we can make
versus
that
having each one of us having our own 25.
Yeah, we'll be up here for 12 hours. Yeah. Well, here it is, number 24, 3 hours in.
But,
no, 25
men and women. 25. Oh my!
That's two separate shows. That's two separate shows. So
yeah,
I'm down.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I'm for it.
You know what's crazy? I'm more excited about the women one than I am the men.
Yeah, because the women.
I think the women's one is so intriguing because there's so much potential on the women's side. The men's, you kind of like, okay. I'm not saying that this is it, but you got your Romans, you know, you know, you got your CM Punks, all those guys like that, and your Moxleys, and you got those guys. So it's just like, but the women one is so intriguing. Yeah, I know why I got number one. I don't even have to like really think about it, but it would be fun, guys. I would really be excited about doing a top 25 for the year.
Yeah, same here. I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
Phenomenal idea.
And I'm interested to see the conversation we'll have to have about agreeing on the top 25 list.
Oh yeah, I want
to see how different our opinions really are.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Yeah. I think we have to. I think in this case, we all have to make our list.
Our list,
and then kind of be like, all right.
We got to stand on the table and fight for people like they do in the draft room.
Yeah, it's like we got to build meetings.
This person deserves to be on the list because
they should be number one.
Yeah,
that'll be. I'm
gonna be really good.
100% down for that.
Yeah.
E, real quick, what was your favorite Blood and Guts? Just to get it out there. What was your favorite part of the night? Like your favorite match or your favorite moment of that show?
All right, couple of things. First thing, I got to talk about the Bucks with the Don Callis fan.
Didn't even mention the Bucks and the Callis fan. Yeah,
I said, man, you think you slick, Don? Hey, look, I'm intrigued now, and I think with the Bucks and Don Callis, it's like, all right, we know it's like if he's with the Don Callis family, we know that the stock goes up for the Bucks, and I'm thinking like, what if the Bucks do go back to being baby faces? It's intriguing, but I love everything about this. We've been talking about the Jobber journey with the Bucks. How they've been. I'm excited. So I'm very intrigued to see what they do with that. Now the matches. Every single one of those matches were amazing. The women's Blood and Guts, the Falls Count Anywhere with Heyman and Will and Powerhouse Hobbs. And then the men's Blood and Guts as well. I mean, man. So the women's was crazy. Again, like I talked about with Marina, stepping her foot into the glass. I said, oh my God. I thought them throwing the glass mirror at Tony Storm. Said, oh my God. That happened so fast. Oh my God. That was insane. Man, I mean, just even that mauling at the end that they did. I mean, Chris Statlander and Mercedes on the outside. Then it came to literally just them just beating the hell. I mean, oh my God. I mean, Mina and Tony Storm was just getting back.
Yeah.
Shout out to Willow though. Got to shout out to Willow and Chris Statlander, two of my Long Island girls, being the first two in it. Hey, we up, Bella. But hey, for the men's Blood and Guts, I ain't gonna lie, they had me intrigued, they had me involved. Them like for Mark Briscoe not to be there, and then him coming back in the end, I said, this is magic right here. Hey, and honestly, 2 MVPs. Orange Cassidy. I mean, taking those staples with the hands in the pockets.
In his pocket.
My God.
They were shooting them things in him,
sir.
Yeah.
I got to go back and peek at it. I haven't had a chance to look at the highlights.
Darby Allin was. I thought he died like 5 different times.
Doesn't he always die? It's crazy.
Yeah. I like he died and came back to life. I'm like, oh, what is that? Just like a cat.
The spot that makes me laugh every time is when Claudia always picks up and just goes on a full run speed and just tosses. I'm like, damn, how many times? And that spot don't never get old to me, bro. I'll be like, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an amazing match. Orange Cassidy, I think one of the MVPs. I think him he was definitely the momentum changer because it was like he came in, rolled up in there. I said, Orange Cassidy, either you're gonna really go crazy or they're about to go crazy on you. And that man went crazy.
He went in.
Hold the head up, Orange Punch. I said, yeah, boy. And Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Finishing it off strong, being the submission magician that he is. I loved it. Great match. I probably say I love the women's though. I think the women's was just crazy, but the men's, I think the men's had me more kind of like, damn, I want to see the Death Riders lose. I was okay with it. I was okay either or. But the way they did it, man, they told that story well, and I loved it. I think for the women, it was just a mauling, man.
It was.
That wasn't nothing but a brawl.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was straight out brawl.
Yeah, I gotta go back and peek at it because I haven't had a chance to look at all of it. But I did see the highlights of the women's match, and I was like, "Good Lord, what is happening here?" So
chaos.
Yeah, it was insane work. But Toni Storm, the post match, and they had in the locker room when they were fixing on the table, and she was. I don't know if it was actually on the show, if it was a post. You know how they just show clips of them, like on the internet, and she was so emotional about. She said, "We're good at two things, and that's sex." And I think she said sex and violence. And I said, oh my God.
I love Toni Storm.
That's my girl, bro. Like
the stuff she says and get away with it.
It's my girl, bro. I'm like, come out of the, I want to see in WWE. I said, no, she'll never work in WWE. They're not giving her, they're not giving her free reign. No. This character can never work in WWE. And that it was great. I was like, this is cool. I said, I'm gonna definitely have to go and peek at it. But man, it seemed like it was a great event. It seemed like it was.
Yeah. I'm kind of mad I wasn't there, and I had 2 TikTok panels. Shout out to my man Nick and shout out to Ladybug. They were out there. We went on TikTok panel. It was right there showing us. My man Nick was like, he was coming down. I think like right when you come from the entrance, he was like one of those first little corner seats.
Oh dang! Nice.
Yeah. And my girl Ladybug, I think she had like a seat like how we did for Takeover New Orleans, so we was kind of far in the back. Like, we had a back seat, but we could see the ring and the entrance and everything. So I was like, oh yeah, she kind of got a better spot. Yeah, but it was. I think it was worth the money, man. If anybody got to that event, they definitely got their money's worth up in there.
Very nice, very nice.
That's beautiful.
All right, E. Well, you wanna take us out as you normally do.
As always, please make sure y'all follow all of our social medias, man. Y'all already know because I should have already had y'all say this because y'all was already taking over the show. I love it. Facebook, we on that. We on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, on that as well. Hey, we appreciate the love and support. Hey, we're looking at 205 subscribers and we're legitimately 8 followers away from 500 followers on TikTok.
Yeah,
keep making sure y'all keep liking it up, keep following us up, and we're gonna keep giving you that content the exclusive way. Come on, man. Y'all already know what this is, man.
Come on.
I'm so happy you was here,
Mr. Exclusive, looking like a true champion in the background.
Y'all know I like to show off,
I wish they could have saw the promo you cut that night.
And the promo was fire. I went to a wedding.
All you hear is E saying, talk that talk.
him and One Night Bates in the background screaming. They're like, yeah, baby. Yeah. I know, like, every now and then I get a promo request. I had somebody ask me to do it at their wedding. Yeah, and I did it for their wedding, man. It was a lot of fun. And so, my birthday's coming up, so the birthday promo is coming. I'm still calculating that one in my head now. So
let's go.
Turn the big 4-1.
I love the promos.
Yeah,
we love them. One of these days we need to let our fans see the promo. These promos are legit.
I think we can. I think we can definitely. We can put something together.
I can make it happen. I got like in my last year, like I said, the last year birthday promo. I put a lot of effort in that, Jake. Man, I had to go black and white and went color on there, and then had to come back here and went outside. And I was like, I don't know. I have no clue how I'm gonna do it this year, but we've got time. I got
promos. Your promos are top notch, sir.
I got them up.
You got a promo class? The WWE have them on the roster at some
point? Me and Eric did one at WrestleMania 34.
The first one.
The very first
promo.
I want to see it.
I don't know what I don't know. We
I think I
recorded
still
it,
got I might have the QR code. I might be
You
able
still have
to
the
get a
QR
screen
code from
recording
it?
or something.
All right,
Yeah.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
we got our commentary with Mr. Phillips, and it was cool. So I mean,
Yeah, man. For Tom Phillips, man, it's my boy.
Yeah, my man Tom Phillips. Yeah, always got
killing him on Impact right now.
Yep,
always got a place in my heart, man. That was a cool moment. He said, "You guys are great." I'm like, "We know." Yeah, we know. You know, I don't think he was expecting it. You know,
no, he wasn't. I forgot. Yeah. I said something that made him laugh while we was doing it. I was like, "Got him." I said, "Here we go, bro." Character.
He said, "Man, you guys were." He said, "You guys were good." I was like, "Yeah." And little did he know. I mean, your boy does it on the on the real, but that's he didn't need to know.
You're natural.
Oh man,
Sorry.
I'm so glad you got on here, man. Look,
I know.
We
Thank you so much, Mr. Exclusive. I appreciate it. Yeah,
it's crazy because I appreciate it. It was nice to finally get to make it my nighttime appearance. I was sitting in the room and I'm like, I said, I got to get on here with E, baby. You should have seen me scrambling over here trying to get appropriate, put some clothes on, do this. Then my phone was playing in the background. I had to switch the phone out, come back. I said, all right, we're here. We're here. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work.
Oh man. Dude, man. All right. Well, as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the legacy make himself Mr. Exclusive, and the one man and the only man that's gonna take you to the Heartbreak Hotel, and that's the Heartbreak Prince himself.
They're cute. Hey, he's sexy. Come on now.
I've got to look.
Because we are the exclusive nights, and we always ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And to ensure that your nights will never be the same. Y'all be good.
Peace. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the support. We love y'all.
Peace.
Y'all